Owning a cat can be pretty confusing sometimes. Yes, they're adorable and fun to play and cuddle with, but they also can be incredibly moody. And if you don't know how to interpret and mold yourself according to their moods, handling them can be a nuisance. The sounds cats make are particularly fascinating. Did you know cats have their own language, and according to experts, they're capable of making over 100 unique sounds in total? Some of these sounds are green flags, while some indicate that your cat might be in trouble. This video is for all the cat owners out there. So if you're one, stay tuned till the very end to not miss out on any of our amazing tips and tricks about dealing with cats. Here are 10 sounds your cat might make and what they actually mean. Let's get into it. Number 10. Meowing. This is the classic cat sound we all know and love. It's literally what sets cats apart from all other animals. You've probably not seen adult cats meow as much as kittens do. The young ones are usually the ones making these adorable noises, trying to get your attention. What do you think is the reason for that? The thing is, when kittens are born, they're unable to hear and see, which is why their go-to cry for help and attention is to simply meow at their mothers. With age, they become a lot more independent, and so the meowing also somewhat decreases. But still, every once in a while, your fully grown adult cat might also meow at you, and that's probably for the same reason a kitten does so. They want your attention. Number 9. Growling. Although cats are loving creatures for the most part, it doesn't take much to annoy them either, and when annoyed, they can get particularly scary. So yeah, it's best to make sure you stay away from them when they're not in the mood. One thing cats love doing when they're in a sour mood is growl. It's their way of letting the world know they're unhappy, angry, scared, or even ready to attack you. Essentially, it is a signal that screams, "Back off." Interestingly, cats can also use growling as a means to assert their dominance and show their possessive side. Some cats are food or toy aggressive, which means they want no one around their stuff. If a cat is annoyed by physical contact, there's no better way for it to indicate its anger than some good old growling. Number 8. Purring. This is one of the most common cat noises. Cats purr in a wide range of situations, which makes gouging the reason behind their purrs all the more difficult. Mostly, though, it's when they're super content and happy. Purring, for the most part, is a green flag that you don't have to worry about your cat being troubled or in pain. But one important point to note here is that cats also purr as a means of comforting themselves when they're sick or injured. That is what you need to watch out for. There's a scientific reason behind this too, by the way. Apparently, the auditory frequency of the purr, which is around 25 cycles per second, is thought to have healing properties. There's no better internal massager than that. In most cases, cats purr when they're in an environment where they can relax, sending out waves of calmness. That's why they normally respond with a purr when you pet them. It means your feline best friend couldn't be happier. Number 7. Trilling. So this one is relatively less common, but those of you who have been cat parents for a while now are probably familiar with trilling. It's a noise somewhere between a meow and a purr, and is mostly a friendly greeting that cats use to indicate their approval. Adult cats typically use trilling as an expression of affection and happiness. Your cat might also use trilling if they want you to pet them, so make sure you pay heed to them when they do so. It's like their attention-seeking weapon. They know you'll give them attention if they trill, and they make sure they milk it as much as possible. But interestingly, trilling is also a form of communication between two or more cats, so it's not always you they're looking for either. Number 6. Yowling. If you've had an unspayed female cat, it will eventually reach a fertile period in its life, which is what you need to especially watch out for. During this period, it might roam around on the streets looking for her next mate. A female cat being in heat is a particularly painful sight to watch, and you need to always make sure you're there for her in every possible manner. One sound that cats typically make during this time is yowling, a desperate cry, hoping to attract tomcats to ease their kitten-making urges. There are several ways to care for a cat in heat, and it's best if you do so before the yowling turns into more nasty screaming and eventually breaks into a catfight. Number 5. Burbling. combine a cat's purr, meow, and growl, and there you have it, a burble. Although there's an element of growl involved, burbling doesn't really have a negative meaning. It's just another attention-seeking noise, which is apparently what cats seem to do all the time anyway, right? But sometimes a burble can also indicate other things. It's like the word aloha in the English language. Tons of different interpretations depending on the context. Your cat might make this burble noise when it's grateful for your attention or when it's trying to gauge your interest in a particular activity that it's doing. Being a good cat parent means you need to recognize burbles for what they are and not dismiss them as just another meow. Number 4, beeping. This one is like half a meow, short and simple, but definitely enough to get the point across. A beep is what you can expect your cat to make if you've bothered it or you've come in its way. So you know what to do when you hear your cat make a beep. That's right, stay away and leave it to do whatever it's doing. Number 3, loud and repeated meows. You're probably very much used to your cat meowing all the time, whether it's looking for attention or it's hungry and wants some food. But what if the meows are repeated and louder than usual? Does that indicate something more serious that you shouldn't ignore? So as it turns out, if your cat is making loud meows over and over again, it's because they really want your attention, like immediately. It could indicate a bigger problem, like they might have gotten stuck somewhere while wandering around and can't find their way back home. Cats do love speaking into little spaces, and before you know it, they find themselves to be completely lost and stuck in an unfamiliar situation. It could also be that your cat is simply extremely hungry, bored, or wants to use the toilet and you need to let it go outside at once. Number 2, chirr. This is the kind of cat sound that, although somewhat rare, is very telling of the cat's behavior. It's like a combination of chirping and trilling and can have a huge variety of meanings depending on the situation. The rule of thumb, however, is to pay attention to the cat's behavior and monitor it to gauge what could possibly be wrong. Or even right, for that matter. Your cat could be trying to tell you anything, and as long as a sound is able to get your attention, their work is done. Number 1, chatter. Only the super experienced cat parents can relate to this one. A cat's chatter is very rare, and you'll probably only hear it in one situation, when they're sitting beside the window and looking out at a bird nearby. That's too specific, isn't it? Well, that's why you need to pay close attention to your cat's behavior if you want to experience this yourself. The sound is quite bizarre, and it's almost like they're trying to mimic a bird call with a mixture of tweets and meows. According to experts, chattering is a way for cats to express their anticipation ahead of a hunt. It's a sound you'll only ever seem to notice when potential prey is in the area, so yeah, it probably does indicate their excitement for a tasty meal. All right, which of these sounds have you heard your cat making? Do you think we missed out on something adorable that your cat does? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to INFORAMA, and turn on the notifications for more. We'll see you in the next one.